What's up, everybody?
Hey guys!
Hope you're having a great Sunday evening. It is September 27th, 2020, and my name is Matt.
I'm Shannon.
And we're at Bat City Comics here on Austin's East Side.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of the weekly comics and stuff that came out. We got some new cool key issues.
We are not there. It is.
Cool.
Cool.
We're
You
live.
got us. We are live. We got people watching
Awesome.
already. So.
Shan's got the comments. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some stuff. Big week this week. A lot of comics came out. A lot of stuff you guys have been looking forward to. Namely, X of Swords. That's, of course, the big one. Part 1 of 22.
It's a lot. It's not as big as Empire, even after they cut half of Empire. So, I mean, if you did Empire, I think you'll make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it through.
Yeah.
It seems off the bat that a lot of people are like, oh, man, 22 parts, I'm going to be invested in this. Whereas people weren't necessarily saying that with Empire.
Yeah.
Empire more brought them in.
Yes.
And they got excited and were like, okay, I have to read all the parts. And there was no of 22 on the cover of the first issue.
Right. It didn't. It didn't seem daunting unless you pulled up the checklist, because the Empire checklist, like, usually the checklists are this like thin sleeve, like one row, beautifully crafted thing, and the Empire one was a 6-month, a 5-month spreadsheet essentially.
Right, and then got condensed down into a month and a half.
And yet all of the titles, for the most part, like a lot of those same titles, still got pushed into that month and a half. So I don't think you had enough time to panic.
Yeah.
About how many titles there were before you were already like way into it. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, I made it go away. My bad.
You lost it.
Okay.
All
Cool. Right, well, now that it's back, Gomez says, "Hey,
cool.
How's it going?"
What's up, Gomez?
Hey, Gomez. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. So. Cool. Well, right on. We got 7 watchers. Might as well give them some stuff.
Woo! Giveaway.
A little giveaway.
I'm gonna start with this.
Cool.
Fun.
A Silver Surfer Weapon Zero.
Yeah.
Comic.
We know the initial order just happened for November, which of course brings up the fact that there has been a lot of talk about the title crossover. So I thought, since we're talking about crossover and all the things happening in the comic book world coming together and different stuff like that, why not give away a book about a crossover title?
Cool.
As we start. So
fitting.
I thought so. Thought it would work. So question 1 to get this book is, in DC Comics, what is the Curse of Kordax? I know.
It's a one-word answer?
It's a really easy, like not one word, but it's kind of like, I didn't know what it was, and then when I learned, I was like, oh, well, okay, awesome. So I feel like I know, like, if Josh Wilson had tuned in already, he would know this, right, probably off the top of his head. But yes, in DC Comics, what is the Curse of Kordax? You can Google that and get an answer. So, and while you're doing that, checking out comics, Guillermo says hello.
Cool. What's up, Guillermo? BJ says X of Streams. That would have been a better...
X of Streams. Man, yes, BJ. We did
Nailed it. Maybe I'll go back in and edit the title after we're done.
Right, to be what BJ's suggestion. Yes, we did not think of that at all.
Right.
But we did get close. So
we did. We got Livestream on there.
Yeah.
It'll be changed if you're watching this afterwards. It's X of Streams.
It's X of Streams now. Your book is glary.
It's glary.
I don't know if anybody can see what it is.
Go. Yeah, the Silver Surfer Weapon Zero crossover book, because crossover is the big exciting thing that's coming soon.
Yes.
New York Times talking about that as the book to read this year.
Right, that and Department of Truth, big books to read. So, the question one more time, Gomez, is, in DC Comics, what is the Curse of Kordax? If you Google Curse of Kordax, DC Comics, you'll find it. BJ says, I know She-Ra is the Curse of Kordak. Ha 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 ha. Dude, that great She-Ra show, that was amazing. If you guys didn't catch the new She-Ra show that was on Netflix, Noelle Stevenson bringing it, it was amazing and wonderful, and I love it. Oh, Renee, yes, it's an ancient Atlantis thing. It's something, I literally, guys, like, it's on Wikipedia. You can Google it. Not his sword, Bam. There is a curse. There is something known as the curse of Cordax. Renee gave you guys a hint that it takes place. Yes, Guillermo. It is blonde hair. Atlantean children being born with blonde hair are said to have the curse of Cordax, and that is why they are often abandoned and left to die.
Weird.
Yeah, totally weird. So, Guillermo, this is coming your
Guillermo.
way. I didn't bring my little book today, so now I have to
write it on the sheet.
Write on my leg so I don't write on comics.
Right. We got a lot of stuff on the counter this week.
We got a lot of stuff.
A lot of things to talk about.
All right. Yes. Nigel said gave his brother the cat poster, and if he was physically capable of doing it, he would have done a flip. Yay! That was a beautiful, beautiful Francavilla Captain America poster. I'm glad that your brother loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have comics, lots of comics at the store if you guys haven't been here before. But we also do have some manga posters and some exclusive pops and statues and some 90s toys and things like that.
Yeah, lots of good 90s toys. Random things of that nature. So you guys should definitely check it out if you haven't been in.
I do get a lot of calls about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. No, we don't have those. We don't have single cards. We don't have Magic singles. But we do have Tempest decks sealed from the 90s of Magic.
And a lot of random, like, Spider-Man Marvel card decks and stuff from those collector cards from the same time period.
Right. Cello boxes that are still sealed and stuff. Yes, those.
Renee says he prefers not to Google the answers, so he couldn't. he couldn't do it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I like the strength in not cheating. That's good.
Picks of the week. I know it's cut off on the thing, but picks of the week.
Right. Well, Mary's not here to take a drink, so if you want to fix the TV.
No, I'm not going to fix it. It's fine. It's whatever.
Mary. I think it looks fine enough. You can tell what it says.
Yeah, it's picks of the week.
Yeah. Well, just to start it off, the first book that I'm going to bring up this week was Miles to Go. This is a new Aftershock, I believe. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, if I'm wrong, and this is actually it has kind of a like Patience Kick-Ass kind of feel in it. That we've got this mom, and it opens up when the mom's a little girl, and you see her and a man, and they have somebody held hostage, and the little girl gets tired of listening, and you can totally show that if you want because it's in the first couple pages. She gets tired of listening to this person's story and pleading, and she just shoots the person. And then it flashes forward to the future, and we realize the little girl is the mom now of the story. And she's just having a normal day with her daughter. She's going about, like, her business. Hey, I'm going to go talk to your dad today. Like, we're going through a divorce. I know you know that. These are the things. This is your babysitter. And then she goes and visits somebody in the hospital, and she's just, you don't really know what their connection is. And then you find out that there's a lot of deep underlying stuff to her story, and that whatever she did as this little girl when she was a killer, the NSA is watching her, and people are trying to find her. And so, like I said, it kind of has it's almost like if you took Patience's story after she quit being Kick-Ass, and her kid was there with her trying to figure out how to live their life. But the ending was such cliffhanger, and it kind of gives you a little bit of like a hey, don't worry if you read all the articles and stuff in the back, but the moment in the cliffhanger for the last thing, you don't even show it because it'll
wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like it is a huge one. And so really interesting read. It's another one of those Aftershock books that I think is gonna continue to like pick up and get some steam behind it. This is issue 1, and I think that it's definitely gonna have that real world family struggling through this dark history that's coming back to like bite them, and women being badasses, and they're women of color. The mom, the agents who are following her said that they believe that she is Indian descent, and that her child making her child half Indian, half like the country, obviously, and then her dad is black, and so they're like, this child is half Indian, half black. And so I'm curious if we're going to follow the story of that child of color, or if we're going to be following the story of the family as a whole, or where it's going. But I love that we're just getting to see these strong women of color of all ages in this story immediately in issue 1.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is called Miles to Go. It's from Aftershock. It's got this weird thing on here next to the Miles to Go. It looks like it says I Miles to Go.
Right.
These came in and I was unboxing them and I looked at it and I'm like, is this an I or an M? And on the back it actually says Miles to Go #1 down in the corner. But if you are looking for this, it's called Miles to Go, not I Miles
Not
to Go.
I Miles to
or
Go.
not 1 Miles to Go. It's strange, right?
Right. So is that the one, or is that? Oh, because it's like in the arrow.
Right. It's
okay. So
in like
the words are the arrow.
The words are the arrow, but it's kind of confusing. But it's called Miles to Go.
Very confusing, but interesting read nonetheless.
Yeah.
We have a ton of Immortal Hulk fans, and this week we got Immortal She-Hulk #1.
Yeah.
And
which is looking to be a one-shot.
It's solicited as a one-shot. You could build me a story out of this.
Right. And like Marvel does with all their one-shots, they put a #1 on it.
And then it makes you think you might get more. And I almost wonder sometimes if they do that because they're like, if it sells really well, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They've just always done that. But we've got, and there are 2 covers to this, and I'm going to show you both of them.
Yes.
And,
the 2 that we've got.
This is the variant, one of the variants, and the other being this beautiful thing that I will let you show the world when you're ready.
That's a variant. But we're going to get past that and show this one because Alex Ross has these amazing timeless variants out. And this is a gorgeous one. You guys have been freaking out over this week.
This one has been, I've been waiting like for the She-Hulk one because she's so cool. And I've been waiting for Immortal She-Hulk. So I'm not reading Immortal Hulk. I know you read the beginning for a while, and then you felt you needed to catch up still.
Yeah. I was reading it in trade.
Yeah. And I haven't actually read Immortal Hulk because it's not usually, I don't usually lean into the Hulk titles, but so I wanted to read this because I do read the She-Hulk stuff and I like it. And this was really interesting, and I don't know how much of it connects to Bruce's story, but it does have, like, she kind of tells her story from beginning of how she, like, became the Hulk, so you get a little bit of that, which is the very one-shot feel of the whole thing, is that, like, she starts with her whole story, and then it's like, oh, and this is it. But it's all about how she keeps dying and coming back to life, and whether or not she is immortal. And there's a great conversation with, like, her and Wolverine, where Wolverine says, you know, why are you questioning it? Why are you looking for answers? If you start questioning this and you start looking into it, all it's going to do is lead you down a path you don't want to go to. And you're not gonna like where this takes you. Why don't you just take it as a blessing of you're alive? You keep coming back, chalk it up to healing factor, and walk away without getting too deep into it. But of course she can't do that because A, she's a lawyer, and B, she's just, that's who she is. And so then she goes and she's having, I know, I love it. Yeah. She's having a conversation with Thor about what it means to be immortal and whether or not anybody truly is. And Thor brings up some stuff that happens in Thor to have the conversation. So if you guys are reading Thor and you're not up to Thor 6, don't read Immortal She-Hulk, because Thor tells you what happened in in Thor #6. So that's my spoiler warning for you. If you're reading Thor and you're not caught up, don't read Immortal She-Hulk yet. That's really all I have to tell you. But it's a really great story. I actually wish there was more, but it does leave you to, they could continue the story in Immortal Hulk. It leads that they could continue it in any other Marvel title, but it would be great if they gave her her own story.
Renee says anything that Al Ewing writes is good, which is definitely true. Marvel's definitely killing it with Donny Cates and Al Ewing and Jonathan Hickman and Chip Zdarsky.
Absolutely.
That's like the thing right now.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And the one nobody talks about,
Kelly Thompson.
Right. Just crushing everything, with Deadpool being one of the highest selling runs on Deadpool ever. She's got Black Widow. She's just Captain Marvel.
Yeah. And the aforementioned have really been going at it with many titles for the last 2 years, and now they're finally giving Kelly Thompson like everything because they're recognizing it.
Right. So, she's got 3 of the big books right now, and who knows how many other great things in the works. So I'm really happy to see that, because she's just crushing everything she's doing, and they're just classic comic fun.
Yeah.
So they're just genuinely good adventures, which I guess, speaking
we should just go right into it.
Classic comic fun.
Ooh, we do have a copy left.
We do.
I thought we were out of the variant. We've got Spider-Woman #4 this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So been one of your subscribed full list titles that you're loving.
Yeah.
What you loving about it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, I guess. It's getting a little convoluted, but it's still fun. There are some few major plot points that are mentioned in one panel.
Yes.
So you really have to pay attention to everything, with fine tooth comb, because if you miss one panel, you miss like, hey, what happened? Oh, that was a thing. But they've been doing a good job at the recaps in the beginning of this.
They give you a big chunk.
Yeah, they give you a huge recap on these things just to show all the text on there. And it doesn't even open really. Technically, this is like page 3,
right,
where we actually open and we get some backstory and things like that. But yeah, she's gone to visit her mom. There's a lot of spoilers already. If you say anything.
If you haven't read Spider-Woman right now, which you should, what is it about? What's going on in Spider-Woman in general before this, without the spoilers?
Jessica, well, yeah, just the kind of the overall. Jessica has been infected with a virus. Is it a virus?
It's a virus.
It's a disease of some kind. That this guy who had a daughter, the daughter had the disease, and so they inject her with it and essentially blackmail her so that she'll figure out the cure for the disease to help the daughter, as it were, because if she can figure it out for herself, she can help the daughter. And the daughter's an essentially 12-year-old girl or whatever, 13-year-old girl.
I think she not young? I thought she was like 16.
Maybe she's 16.
I think she had just turned 16.
They draw her to look like she's 12.
They do. They draw her to look like she's 12, but she keeps talking about how she's an adult now, and everybody agrees with her, so I'm thinking she's at least 16.
Yeah.
But...
yeah.
Oh, and didn't she get a car in issue 1?
Oh, maybe she got a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's 16. But,
Yeah.
It's a fun read.
And it's been really interesting because it is quickly revealing things that are connected to the story, and it's all really connected to Jessica's story for a long period of time. And it didn't seem like that at the beginning. It kind of just felt like, oh, we're just gonna have one of those like how Catwoman just gets like these random stories that don't seem to have a point,
right.
Or like Black Cat. Like it felt like we were gonna get another one of those where it was just like, Jessica Drew's got some things to do.
Right.
What's Jessica Drew up to today?
Right.
And
I thought it was going to be more of that.
Yeah.
This is like heavy continuity.
It has gotten heavy in its continuity.
Yeah. Which they even reference back to Bendis' Spider-Man or Spider-Woman Origin that came out in like 2005. Right, which we've got on the trades today. We're going to talk about that a little bit because it is really the starting point for this series.
Yes.
We're not talking about the old school 70s series here, really. We're talking about that version where she was raised by Hydra and Taskmaster taught her how to fight.
Right.
Which is cool with the new upcoming Black Widow movie. Spider-Woman Origin is definitely worth a read.
Yeah.
It's in Bendis speak. So a lot of bubbles that trail on full page panels. But this is a lot of her backstory and a lot of who she is and her family and things like that. Plus she had the baby.
Right.
In the last volume.
Right. And she's still, and one of the things I do enjoy is that they're still leaving Jessica at mom.
Right.
They've not pulled that away from her. It's still part of her story, so I do like that.
Right. It always leaves me wondering, where's the kid?
Right. Well, she talks about that in one of the issues.
See, one bubble that was thrown in somewhere.
There's pictures.
Yeah, right.
It's like the one panel. Like, it's like a picture and a thing, and then you're like, move on.
Right, and that's it. And it does a lot of that and just kind of keeps driving the story, which is nice because it covers a lot of ground really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's definitely worth it. Fun read.
Yeah.
And this is our last copy of the variant.
Which is the villain variant.
The villain variant. All the new titles that were recently printed that came out this week have a nice little Chadwick Boseman tribute.
Yeah, and I don't know
them.
if I got... There's one.
Yeah. Daredevil, for example, there has that nice little rest in power Chadwick Boseman on the top, which is really nice. The cover A of this also did, but we just love this variant. It would have been nice if this had the rest in power Chadwick Boseman on it. But that said, we've got this cool cover.
Yeah.
Last copy of that available.
And then keeping going with new things that we love and indie titles, actually, this is The Goddamned The Virgin Brides Part 3. Talk about a story that keeps being intense the whole time.
And who's writing this?
This is Jason Aaron.
That's right.
And you know it.
Yeah.
Because it is deep, it's rich, and the story is extraordinary. There's, if you guys don't know, there of course there is there's the original series, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read the original series. I actually wanted to pick this one up just because somebody told me how good it was, and they were like, you probably could go without going back, and I did, and you definitely can. He's given you enough of what the world's about that you know what it is. But we've got these little girls who are basically being groomed to be the brides of angels. And I'm putting all of that in quotes, but they are raised by these nuns and they're made to do all this stuff. And we've got two, basically, the second you get your period, you are sent off to be the bride of an archangel, angel kind of guy. And we've got a couple of little girls who are not having it and they've taken off. And this is kind of all their escape story, and they just had this great. This one was really good because they keep getting a little bit further and a little bit further away in every issue, and things keep happening and they keep making decisions, and it's kind of great because he does work this like different stories from like biblical tale into this that somehow comes in. Like there was a serpent in this one, and he mentions a flood that's coming, and so there's all these like inner workings of stuff like that in there. But it's Jason Aaron, and he's built his own mythology upon like a mythology essentially, and just makes it crazy, and it's really good read. And again, I've never read the first series, and so this has stood alone to me as just like a wow. If the first series is as good as this one, like maybe I do need to go back and read it because this is extraordinarily well written, which is not surprising because it's Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
But gorgeous art as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the art in this, and I'm trying to show it here on the live stream. You actually can't see much of what I show without me getting really close to the camera here. This art is very dark and very detailed.
Very detailed.
It's extremely detailed art. This is R.M. Guerra doing the art on this, but it's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even trying to look at it, it's like, what am I looking at? But, there's, really cool. It's just really hard to see, especially on camera. And it is all tinted like this to the scene. Of course, in moments of warmth, you get kind of warmer art. In moments of darkness, it's kind of cool and green. But how it just kind of keeps a consistent overall color to everything. But it is neat, and it's hyper detailed. If you guys like really detailed, cool art, look at all the rocks.
Right, you can see all the different layers of rocks, like
right
in the water, and you can see the rounded edges. Like you can tell that those rocks have been impacted by the water.
Yeah.
And that's an important, like, in a detail of an artist is, do they think about the environment that they're drawing, or do they just draw it like, oh, I could have just drawn some craggly rocks on there, but it's like, no, this is like an ocean bed. It's not going to be, or a river bed. It's not going to be jagged rocks. It's going to be smooth and rounded, and they're going to look perfect. And there's so much attention to
and they're
detail.
on an island, and it's like an upward shot of a dragon fighting them, and you can still see the pebbles in the ground even from way up high.
It's so good.
Very cool, very neat art. Reminds me a lot of that Brave and the Bold Batman Wonder Woman series that came out a couple of years ago, except without the heavy Lord of the Rings dialogue.
Right, it does not have Lord of the Rings dialogue.
Which is cool.
Yes. A couple more image titles that I have been telling you guys that you should be picking up if you're not already. This one is Bliss #3.
Yeah.
We are in a world where people have become obsessed with a drug that basically makes them not have to deal with their memories. And we have a son who's been telling us the story of his father, and his father is on trial for the things that he did. And the son is telling in the first 2 issues, the son has told us all about the work his dad did for the gods of like this underworld and the seedy world around them, and people who bring bliss into the world. And it's a terrible thing, and we find out that there's more and more in this dad story and more impact on the son. But at the end of issue 2, we get this big twist of the danger that is coming to this world, and we start to see it in issue 3. We see, and it's great because we get a backstory moment from the son of a dangerous situation that happened in his life between his parents and him and his grandparents, and it's paralleled with this dangerous situation that's coming for them in real life. And it's just done really, really well. Again, this is one of those books that it just has good writing, and you just want to keep going and see what's happening. Like it's one of those where if they would have made it into a novel or something like that, it also would have just been a fly through, but the art is so good. And it's got so many details and so much fun. So if you guys are looking for something that's a little bit kind of like the Goddamn Virgin Brides, where it's a little bit heavier in the concept of the story, but it still reads really fast and really entertaining, then I definitely recommend that. Apparently, so does Shopcat. She's like, "What are we doing?"
Bliss. I want some bliss.
Right. I have to move this before she jumps up here. I guess she can't. So
good.
There's no stool on that side. So
right.
yeah, good
awesome.
book. Pick it up. That's issue 3. We do have 1 and 2 in stock. And then one of my personal favorites that I talk about all the time is Black Magic. This is Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott, and it is as good as you would expect a book by Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott to be. It is amazing. We had a big lull between the old volumes of it and this new one, and I'm glad that it's back. It's done. Everything's done in sepia, like grays, and makes it spooky. And we've reached a point where our main character, her magic is so strong, and evil demons and things are coming after her, and she's a witch who's also a detective for a police force. Like, she's just actually a regular detective, but also happens to be a witch, and things are happening in the world around her, magically speaking, and it's just really getting really dark, and she seems to be the center of the problem, and things are getting really, really crazy really fast. And if you guys like magical stuff, this is going to be a book that you need to go back for. We have trades for volume 1 and 2, and then all of the issues that have been since the trades ended. So if you guys want to catch up, you definitely can do that.
The sepia really works well for this. It's not in the same way that a black and white comic feels. It definitely it reads better. It feels like it's in color, but the colors are muted because it's nighttime or darkness.
Right. And there's a big thing, and somebody brought up in the questions, or the question email section, letter section, in the back, that there's been more color recently in the story, and they're trying to figure out what that means. And they said that there is definitely a reason for it, and you're going to see even more of that in the future, and you're going to start to finally figure out why there is spots of color in the book. And so I'm very excited to see where this is going, because I've been following this story for a long time, and I'm really excited to see that we're building to something crazy incredible, and I can't wait to see what they're doing.
I like the back. It says "Don't go anywhere." Neat.
Neat. Speaking of that, Chip Zdarsky Daredevil.
Oh yeah, Chip Zdarsky Daredevil, back again, issue 22. If you guys have been following along with Daredevil, killed a man in the beginning of the Chip Zdarsky run, or at least recapped that a little bit. He turned himself in issue 21 and is being tried. Foggy, of course, jumped in as his lawyer, defense attorney, and he has made a deal with the DA, essentially, that he can be tried as Daredevil in costume.
Oh.
Yes, because he is a public servant, technically, as Daredevil, and so they're trying Daredevil, the person. They don't want to reveal Matt's identity because, obviously, he's Daredevil, and they want to protect that for whatever reason, you know. But, so they've worked out that deal. It's Chip Zdarsky, so you read it, like, saying it out loud, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's Chip Zdarsky, so you read it, and you're like, oh, that makes a ton of sense. Absolutely, Chip, we're on this ride with you, buddy.
Wherever you want to go.
Yep. This one he ends up meeting up with Iron Man, and there are some of the Matt Murdock Daredevil street level hero meeting the Iron Man cosmic hero sort of a thing, and being a person who's not necessarily wealthy versus a man of tremendous wealth, and the discussion of wealth in America spoken through the two of them, which is really nice to see. Essentially, Daredevil calls out Iron Man to actually do something good with his money, and he says, "What's the line? I want to read that." There's a great part in here where he talks about the street level hero kind of a thing, which we have that discussion all the time. Like, oh, Bendis is great at writing street level heroes. The MCU is all cosmic heroes. They don't deal with the street level heroes. Those are in the TV shows, and so it's kind of fun that he brings that in. And he says those people, they don't have this in brick and mortar, and they live paycheck to paycheck. You called me street level earlier. I call it people level, which is just kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's, the way of the people. Um, it's fun to have those conversations. Chip's always turning it up and putting those political kind of conversations into these books, and what makes you a hero and things like that.
Right.
So it's a good read. If you've been reading it, keep reading it. Don't drop off.
This book has been very strong on the what makes you a hero concept and the idea of wealth and power in America. On and how it doesn't matter if you're on the side of good or not, that it can you can still fall into the same category in this once you become the wealth of America.
Yes.
And it's been a really good, interesting commentary to see this discussion unfold.
Yeah. And especially with a big thing that's been going on is all of the gangs have been fighting throughout Hell's Kitchen, and you have all these different rich people essentially who hire all the villains to come, rather than the villains attacking on their own accord. They're all hired by billionaires to attack the city, and then Kingpin is the mayor, so he's Mayor Fisk, and so even though he's a villain, as it were, having a villain in power and having the way that he deals with things and the way that he pays people off.
Yeah.
And even then, he's not the biggest villain because all these billionaires are doing way worse things. And Matt's trying to keep it out of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And it has all those kind of conversations throughout the entire story. We did a best of 2019 here on our live streams last year, and Daredevil won the best read of 2019, as it were, according to you guys. Again, if you've been reading it, keep reading it. Don't put it down now. Keep going. It's definitely shaping up to be great. If you haven't started yet, it's on issue 22. I believe there are 4 trades out currently, and a couple of issues.
Yeah. I realized I should have saved Black Magic because this is going to be a magic moment coming in here for a second, because
it breaks it up a little bit.
In addition to and now we're just in magic, in magic for the rest of it. But in addition to Black Magic being so far, and we've got a lot of new titles that are very magical. One of them, which is I am surprised, quickly becoming one of the things that I love reading and getting to dive into, is actually Shadow Service, and it's only on number 2. And this is basically, what if Jessica Jones was a witch and she used her magical powers? Instead of having strength, she had magical powers, because this girl lives in a rundown apartment, and she runs a PI service, and she tries to help with missing people, but she's also a witch, and she does all of her stuff by pure magic. And there is and it's the joke of it is that they have, instead of MI6, they have MI666, and they hate being called that, but there is this supernatural spy organization type thing, and they're coming after her because she's an unregistered magic user, and there's something about her that of course is different from everybody else, and they've got to be mindful of it. And so this is issue 2, and it's already super deep into what the lore is and with the magic, but we're also still trying to figure out what's going on. And I love it because it's one of those where you definitely are trying to figure that out with her. You're not ahead of the character at all, and as you have to piece things together with her and follow along with her journey to kind of get stuff. And so when she's trapped in somewhere, you feel like you're trapped somewhere, and you have no idea who's trapping her and who's doing things, because you don't know anything more than she does, because we're only on issue 2.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun.
This is from Vault too.
Yeah.
Vault's been doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been great. And then 2 Boom titles that are very magical and wonderful and amazing.
Do we have Autumn now?
I
we
did
don't
not.
have.
I think
we're out.
Yeah,
we're
because
out.
we have one in a subscriber box, which I can grab just to show you, but we have to order it.
It's okay. They speaking of vaults, I just wanted to name drop Autumnal, which is coming out, but that issue shot up on the internet for some reason. I guess that they botched a bunch of the printings.
Oh.
And so copies were either shorted or came in way damaged beyond repair. Is what I heard. So ones that actually came in tangible and readable were in very short supply. And Autumnal is a story we don't really know.
There
are people Yeah.
A girl's estranged mother passes away, and the girl and her daughter go to see the mom in the town, and all we know is that the girl was sent away from her mom when she was 8 years old, so she's got this terrible relationship with her. She's mad at her, but the town is a place that's claim to fame is the perfect fall all the time.
Right.
Every year, perfect fall, massive orange trees, and it's very. And one of our subscriber, one of our subscribers who bought it, he even said as soon as I described it, he was like, "Have you seen Silent Hill?" And I was like, "If you took Silent Hill and you just made it about this place that was the perfect fall, you get that same feeling of
dread
yeah. in it. Like, oh, I walked across into this place, and I automatically think everything is going to kill me, and I don't know why."
Right, and other than that, you like you said, you don't know why, yeah. You don't know what's there. Strange.
Yeah.
But if you guys are following along online, or if you saw this on Comic List or something, again, copies are like $25 now because of the print, and it was so damaged. And of course, we got 3 copies, and we read it, and they've sold out. And
right.
It's a mess.
And they sold like because people thought it sounded cool when we told them about it. We didn't know that this happened, and so now it's
something to keep an eye on. There is a second print coming. We should get a couple of second prints because I think we're going to be following that series, and we'll probably be talking about those as they're coming out because we're both reading it.
Absolutely.
And so we'll definitely have second printings of those and for people to pick up and to get into the series. But that's Autumn Nolan, another thing from Vault that I wanted to mention.
And they did such a great marketing job of releasing it actually on the autumn equinox. So congratulations for being on top of it. Even with everybody's print schedules being messed up this year, they still nailed it.
They even say that in the book. They're like, today's the autumn equinox.
Yeah.
And the book shipped on Tuesday, which was the equinox. And then New Comic Book Day was the day after, which was crazy.
Yeah. It was
great marketing. I guess they've been planning it probably through COVID or something.
Yeah. I'm sure for it's a year or 2 that they've probably been planning the release of this book.
Yeah.
So.
But again, one to keep an eye out for. I think that's the first time we've reviewed a book without having it
I know.
live stream.
Usually we won't tease you with books you can't get, but we're definitely gonna do it.
Something to keep a lookout for, yeah.
And then to keep with the craziness of indies and magic and stuff is an Unkindness of Ravens came out. This is literally The Craft meets Mean Girls. It's a girl goes to a new school, and she gets propositioned for who she's going to be friends with by both the group of people who literally look like the plastics from Mean Girls, or is she going to meet with these girls who look like the girls from The Craft? And the whole thing that makes it really weird is there is a missing person who just went missing a week or so before she came, and it is this fitting image of her. Everybody keeps bringing up the fact that they think that she is the missing girl and she's just wearing glasses and she's trying to play it off. And they even the school gives her the missing girl's locker, and so there's all these weird things is she the missing girl? What is this? And what is this magical connection to the girl? Why does the magic team want her? Why does the popular team want her? And so it's really cool. And then you see some little twist by the girls who are the crafty kind of girls. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's Boom, and so I feel like it might turn really dark. It might stay where it is. I don't know, but I'm very, very excited to keep going with this book. It's going to be great.
Right. It definitely looks a lot more menacing on the cover than it actually is. And just flipping through it, there's not a lot of action panels. It's going to be a story, which is what Boom's been doing really good job with lately. Is just telling really good stories.
Yeah.
And things that rope you in.
Yeah, there's zero action in this first issue. Actually, one of my favorite moments is that the jock, football guy, comes up to her, and the guy that's been showing the nice, nerdy friend that's been showing her around all day, and he tries to threaten them, and she just doesn't back down, and she's like, "Do you want to find out how fast 9 years of karate can take you down?" And she picks her leg up, and she's like. And he's like, "No, fine," and backs off, and she just won't let it go, and she's about to attack him, and finally he walks away, and the friend's like, "Did you really do 9 years of karate?" And she's like, "No, I don't know anything about karate." And I'm like, I love it that she's already going to be this character that's if you threaten my friend, I will come after you.
Right.
And I love that. I was like, oh man, I already like her.
Exactly. And killing with intimidation, I love that.
Right. And then of course our always pick of the week.
Every week it comes out.
Every possibly all the weeks it doesn't too.
If I could have one book release every single week with a new issue, this would be the book.
This would be the one.
This would be it. This is win number 4, and this is our last copy.
Yes, it is.
It is our last copy. We have reordered already. I've reordered 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're coming in as soon as possible.
Right, it's not fast enough for us, and we've already read them. So.
Absolutely. Even all the second printings that we've gotten have sold out. This story is amazing.
It's so good.
You're good with recaps. Go into it.
If you don't know what Wind in general is about, is we are in a world where magic is banned. It once was a magical world, but now the king is trying to keep magic out of it. He has worked very hard and to keep this one town away from magic. And he has a team of people led by somebody called the Bandage Man, whose job is to just snuff out any magic that comes across, like anything they see. And of course, our main character, Wind, has pointy ears, so we know that he might be magical. We also know that the prince, at this point, really wants to help the magical people and doesn't want to follow the codes that his dad has put in place, and the dad is dying. And so now there is a whole group movement to try to to get the prince out for as long as he can, so he doesn't have to swear to abide by those rules that the dad's trying to put into him, and also to smuggle Wind out and keep him safe. And there's very Avatar Last Airbender-esque type prophecy, thought process, back history that we see. And this issue, the last issue, issue 3, not a single person has said that they were not in tears or near tears when they read issue 3, because it just had some of the most moving moments in a comic book. It was so beautiful, and there's so much heart behind the idea of family and friendship and doing the right thing to keep the world a better place, and just, oh my gosh, it was so good. And now in this story, we are on the run in issue 4. We're trying to get away as fast as we can, and things that just keep happening. And there's so many beautiful moments in there that you get these real conversations with people, and you get to have these moments of humanity from the most magical people, and you get to have a conversation of, you can want to do the right thing and still be a bad person. And if your motivation's not right, and it's such a good commentary from James Tynion on the idea of people saying, like, oh, well, I'm doing a good thing, so, like, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And then being a complete and total jerk to everybody around them.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're not actually being a good person because you put that hashtag on your Facebook.
Right.
It's really what James Tynion is saying, 100%.
100%.
In this thing, and it's great the way he works it into the conversation, because obviously they don't have that exact cause in that exact moment and things like that, but it's just, James Tynion addresses everything in the world in such a beautiful fantasy, fun adventure, and again, most emotionally drawing comic on the shelf.
Absolutely. I want to say that the fun of this, I'm not a big fantasy reader. The fun of this is like playing a Legend of Zelda game to me, where you're going between like the different temples, and then you go out into Hyrule Field, and then you're down into another thing, and then you're back. And I think the great adventure fantasy stories lead us across these fun adventures through all these different worlds. You know, Star Wars did it, Lord of the Rings did it. All the great fantasy pieces lead us through on an actual adventure. It doesn't just take place in the backyard. They start at the backyard, they show Hobbiton. You leave Hobbiton and you see all these different worlds rapidly. You know, and this one starts, they're in these pipes, and they're in a getaway on boats. And then they leave the boats, and then they get like into a magical field and meet magical beings, and they have a campfire with them. And the next day they travel further, and we get to this place, and you know, we get to see all these different things. So it's not like one of kind of like these other titles, like Goddamn Virgin Brides, where it is all dark and everything's toned a certain way. This is like different colors for every world, and bright and dark, and it gives me the feeling reading this of watching like Princess Mononoke, or definitely a Miyazaki sort of a feel with the art, but I get that same sense of adventure that I got out of playing Ocarina
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
It definitely has those feels.
and that's a lot of the fun that I'm really enjoying in this. This is one of those things that when the story ends, and they're oversized, these are big books. Um, the second that it ends, I just want to keep reading because I want to know where it's going to go. It's in the same way that you get an RPG video game, and you stay up for 4 days straight playing the thing because you're so immersed in the story of it.
Well, and I was gonna say we brought up the Netflix She-Ra earlier,
Yeah.
and it feels that same way where it's like you said, you see all these bright worlds, and then you have your dark moments, and then you have every issue has this emotional friendship and this beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of every issue in this case, much like the She-Ra one, like I can't tell you how many times you would come in after I watched an episode of She-Ra, and I'm like, I'm not crying. It was just great, and it's fine, and I love it, and it's wonderful, and I have to watch the next one right now, or I won't ever be whole again. And it's like
That's
is how you
I
feel about this book.
If I don't read it soon enough, I won't be whole again. And I'm, again, with that kind of Miyazaki feel, get a really close up here on this art. And again, not really a fan of cartoony art in my comics personally, but it kills it. It definitely works 100%. Another thing that's interesting in these fantasy books, all of the words in them are not uppercase.
Yeah.
Like it's actually upper and lowercase. And I'm starting to see that they do that in fantasy books a lot, is actually have upper and lowercase words. And like Marvel would never ever do that. You know, it's all uppercase in Marvel. And it's all uppercase in action stuff. But on something like this, it actually has that kind of lowercase, which makes them have more like calm conversations. It feels
right.
I don't know, something soothing about it. It is like a bedtime story.
It very much is.
Freaking believable.
And yes, Nigel, if we didn't already pull number 4 for you, we will put this one in your box.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that we flipped through it.
Right now that we just like manhandled it.
You're gonna read it anyway.
Yeah. That's the picks of the week.
That's the picks of the week.
That stack is done.
Awesome. Let's give these people something.
Yeah. Well, since I compared something to this earlier, let's give away this Jessica Jones poster.
Yeah.
Now this is I can't believe I'm giving you this.
Why are you giving this away?
Because it was in the stack, and I was like, you know what? We should give away a Jessica Jones poster that I want to put in my room to remind me every day to be a badass. But you know what? Now you guys have this Jessica Jones poster to put in your room to remind you every day to be a badass. And I am going to give you this Jessica Jones poster if you can tell me. Let's see. You know what? Since we talked about it, if you can tell me, we'll just make it easy. 3 superhero teams that She-Hulk has been a part of, I will give you this Jessica Jones poster. So, 3 teams She-Hulk has been a part of, superhero teams. Give them to me. You get this Jessica Jones poster that I don't want to give away, but I'm gonna.
Retailer poster.
Yeah.
These are made to go up in the windows of comic book stores, so this is super cool.
Yeah, I love this. I actually have this exact outfit, and it makes my life easy when I don't want to come up with a costume for stuff.
Right, but you're giving this away.
But I'm giving it away because I love you.
Right. It's pretty awesome.
Right, but only if you can tell me some 3 superhero teams that She-Hulk has been a part of.
Right.
Only. It was originally going to be 4, but I'm being nice now. Might as well keep with my nicety and just make you only do 3 teams She-Hulk has been a part of.
Yeah.
And one of them should be super easy because you've been reading comics recently. She's been in it right now.
The more we talk, the more we give away.
I know, but nobody's guessing, so I'm just
I love the negative space on this poster.
Yes.
Negative space is really nice. Just the white and the actual painted art.
And that's how all the covers were.
Yeah.
And they were gorgeous. This is definitely, I think, probably my favorite Bendis work is Jessica Jones. Avengers, A-Force, and Fan 4. Yes, Nigel, those are them. So you were getting this Jessica Jones poster, Nigel.
Bam.
That's
what's up.
That was fast. Good job. Yeah. See, I told you. I knew you guys could do it. Just 3. It's not too hard. I wasn't evil.
It was just 3 teams.
Just 3 teams. You really just had to name any 3 teams. Because if you guys don't know, She-Hulk has been a part of Avengers, Fantastic Four, Heroes for Hire, Defenders, Fan Force, S.H.I.E.L.D.,
X-Men.
A-Force. X-Men?
No.
Oh, I was like, no, that's not a thing.
Okay. I was making a
Oh,
guess.
good try.
Right.
It's like the only
Good
one
try.
she hasn't.
Right. I would have failed.
Yeah, Fearsome Four, Future Foundation, Hulkbusters, The Initiative, Lady Liberators, Mighty Avengers, like, and
everyone ever.
Yeah, except X-Men. But she was just talking about working with them actually with Wolverine and Immortal She-Hulk. She was talking about how she's done the things she's done with them before.
Right.
And he's like, well, you're not a mutant, so.
Right. Makes sense.
Good, you know.
Right, you're not a mutant.
So, get away. Go
right.
on.
That's your only criteria for the X-Men.
Right.
Other stuff you have in stock?
Yeah,
we want to talk about?
I do.
Real
yes.
quick.
Awesome. Nigel's going to give that to his sister. I appreciate that.
Cute.
That's wonderful. We have Dead Buddy Road, Bad Blood, issue 4 in stock. I told you guys this is another one of those series where I didn't read the original series, but the sequel series came out and I thought it looked awesome. And it is. This is about a girl who's trying to save her brother, and she is destroying everybody and anybody that gets in her way. And the best part is she doesn't even like her brother. She's just like, hey, that's my brother. Nobody kills him but me. And right. I'm going to go against all of you. And it's got some great dynamic between her and friends and things from the past. We've got
Engine Ward
number 3.
Still continuing with their cool wraparound covers.
Yes. And still continuing with a story all about the pantheon of gods, which is basically based off the zodiac signs and not off of any of the other specific gods you've ever seen. But we are starting to learn that the gods are not what they say they are, and the influence that they have on the world has become celebrity status. And like in most cases of celebrity, it might actually be more of a myth than a reality.
Cool. Dr. Doom coming back.
Yeah.
Which has been gone since COVID, pretty much.
Yeah, this is its first issue back since COVID, and I had to look that up to make sure it was still coming back because I almost gave up his spot on the wall.
Yeah, Dr. Doom's a good guy, but he's been framed to be a bad guy. The second he actually starts doing some really good for the world, he gets framed, and then they come for him, and yeah.
Poor Dr. Doom.
Poor Dr. Doom.
He tried, and then he gets mad about it.
And then he gets mad about it and kills some more people and tortures some people, and they're like, this is who you are, and you can't escape it. And it's kind of a cool commentary.
Again, it's people. The nature versus nurture. Like, are you really evil, or is it the people that is it the circumstance that pushes you through to it?
It's actually Dr. Doom's, I've heard this, besides 2099, it's his first actual solo ongoing series ever.
Wow.
After all these years. And never had a solo ongoing series.
And it's been fun, and he still has an obsession with Sue.
Yeah.
Batgirl 49 is out. This is part of the Joker War tie-ins. This is the collateral damage of the end of Joker War. We're starting to see things wrap up. According to you guys, the Batgirl tie-in has been the best. If you disagree, tell us in the comments why you think one of the other ones is the better of the Joker War tie-ins. Because I'm curious. So far, so good on Batgirl being in the lead if we ran a poll right now. But
right, for the best of the Joker War.
Best of the Joker War titles. But you guys let us know. The Flash, this is number 762. This is a crazy cover that I actually had somebody.
This cover.
I had somebody who has never even read The Flash buy this cover just because they thought it was so cool. We are, according to the synopsis and the interwebs, this is the reparation of what happened in Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, and I believe it's the last Joshua Williamson title.
Ooh.
Or him writing
Is this the end? Did he hit
I believe this is the end, yeah. Which, of course, we went into legacy numbers after 750. So
right, so now I have no idea.
I have no idea where we are because that's a pain in the ass. And they should have just written the number on there.
Right, like they used to do where they did both.
Right.
I guess it was Marvel who used to do both, which was super helpful.
Right, and they actually wrote 762 in the barcode.
Well,
you know,
I mean,
it's like 101, 102.
Usually,
like
if it has like the special title, it'll tell you. But oh man, it looks good. Yes, yeah. This is because there's actually a note that says, "Thank you to all the readers and everyone who worked on the Flash run with me. Thank you for the greatest race of my life." Love, Joshua.
Oh, that's so sweet. And this has been the title, obviously the only one that made it from Rebirth to now. This is the last holdout from the beginning of Rebirth. The last creator who is still working on his title. I got to show this double page spread real quick.
Because it's phenomenal.
Super unbelievably awesome. Yeah, everything that's been on this entire run has been good.
And Hi-Fi's the colorist, right?
Yeah, Hi-Fi's done the colors the whole time, I believe.
which is exactly why it looks like that.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Absolutely. Congrats to Joshua Williamson for being the longest standing runner. Writer, runner on a title. Tom King was the second up.
Yeah.
To do 90 whatever issues of Batman.
Right.
94 or whatever.
Should have been 100.
Should have been 100. Yep. But people are really enjoying the time and run.
Yes.
And so that's good.
Yeah, lots of things come out of that. I know there's a Punchline special coming out soon for those of you guys who are loving Punchline. That, I believe, releases in the November time period. So
yeah, if you guys subscribe to Joker War, we'll probably got that for you.
Whenever it comes up.
Whenever it comes out, yeah. Absolutely. Juggernaut. With those new X titles like Cable and Hellions and Wolverine and the second wave of House of X, Powers of X, X-Men, New Titan.
And this is, of course, an adorable Scotty Young version.
Yes.
If you guys have already read this, tell us about it, because I have not had a chance to grab it and read it yet, and I'm curious where it falls in the power of all of the other X-Men titles going on right now. Like, are you guys loving it as much as you're loving the other things? Do you have to read the other ones to get this?
Have they revealed yet that he actually is a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers? We don't know.
The world may never know. If you know, comment below and let us know. And then we've got Maestro number 2,
yes.
Peter David.
Peter David back on a Hulk title. You guys are loving this. A lot of these ones that we put in of the in-stock stuff are ones that we know you guys have already picked up, and the ones who are really loving the stuff have already grabbed them at this point. You know, it's not like we try and review a lot of indie titles on this show to get you guys kind of to hear about the stuff that you don't know about. But some of this other stuff like Maestro, obviously Peter David back on a Hulk title, people have been waiting for this for forever.
Right.
And we've had people who just are like, I want every single cover.
Right. I just need it.
Absolutely. And you guys know who you are, and you're loving Maestro. From everything I've heard, it's great.
And it's only on issue 2, so if you want to jump in, there's still time. I believe we have first and second printings of issue 1. We might be out of the second.
We might be. Really? I thought we were out of the first printing.
Maybe that's the one we're out of.
We just got second printings in this week also.
Yes.
Second printings of number 1 came in. If you guys are additional print collectors, that wasn't a thing until recently. Now they've started to do new covers for all additional printings, and so people are really cover collecting, especially with store variants and things being the hot thing lately. We get a couple of copies of all 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. We're talking about Thor here at this point, 7th, 8th, 9th printings. If you guys are into those, shoot us a message if you want us to pull some. We always do get extra copies of all of those if you guys are 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th printing.
Absolutely. If I see additional printing listed, I order it. We actually have an entire box dedicated to just current additional printings and a wall space where you can come in and see additional printings that are super popular.
It's crazy. Ever since we put that out, I feel like, just regular in-store traffic, people usually always buy one additional printing.
Yes.
It doesn't, just of whatever series they're into, people just kind of grab this because they're doing new covers for all of them.
The covers have been great on the second print.
Covers have been better than the cover A's.
The Ice Cream Man is winning right now with Ice Cream Man 20. It started with the Cat in the Hat, and then the second printing was The Places You'll Go, and now the third printing is going to be the Lorax.
I'm already getting people asking if it's come out yet. People are like, oh wow, this is the second printing. Do you have the first? No. Okay, cool. Well, I'll still get this one. Do you have the Lorax one? No, it's not out yet. It's coming soon. And yes, we got some of those. Additional printings.
It's a thing.
Hot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, super hot.
Those additional printings are so hot right now.
If you guys don't know about the kind of the idea behind those, is every single print that comes out gets smaller and smaller and smaller because people don't order them because
they're still sitting on their shelves.
They're still sitting on their shelves. So as the next print comes out, the print run gets smaller, which makes them more and more and more collectible. Especially with new covers, So we're on 5th printings of Thor.
We've had some 6th, I believe.
Right, sixth printing of Thor 2, I think at this point. Which I really like the 6th printing cover.
Yeah, and I've been digging those 3rd printings of Venoms, which are sideways.
Yes.
Those have been really great.
And Thor.
Yeah.
They did one for Thor
5. I think
3.
So.
3 is the orange one that's sideways.
It's been great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, we've got a ton of those if you guys are into that.
Absolutely. Other things you guys are loving that you don't really need us to tell you that you're loving, but Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 5 came out this week.
I've heard that this series is just unbelievable, and
Mhm.
honestly, when it comes out in trade, I'm going to read it.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And the only reason for that is because there's a first appearance or something in issue 1 or 2, and it sold out like crazy.
Yeah.
And you can't get your hands on it, and they've gone into additional printings, and we sold the additional printings already. The art in this is super mature,
yeah,
and really cool. I'm just gonna throw that up really quick.
It is required that in order to buy Star Wars Bounty Hunters, you must buy some form of Baby Yoda to go with your purchase. So don't worry, we can help you with those too. Renee says he wants the 25th printing of Thor 5.
Right. I told Donnie, dude, I'm so excited about that Thor 3 9th printing.
Yeah.
Yeah. he laughed too. I can't believe that a book has gone on that long and had that many printings for every single issue.
Right, we're on issue 7, and all of them are already in multiple printings.
Right, that never happens with this series. But the series is that great, so.
Yeah, again, don't read Immortal She-Hulk unless you're caught up on Thor.
Right. Undiscovered Country. This is a cool book. Virus happens. The virus falls from the sky. People kill each other for shelter.
Mm-hmm. And America swears that they're doing great. America's been closed off this entire time. They swear they're doing great. And a team gets invited to come into America to get the secret. And of course, when they get to America, they find out that they actually are not. And they've
and 200,000 people have died.
Right, and 200,000 people have died. And there's the country is desolate, and it's crazy, and it's so great to see that this is something that is just keeps going, and it just gets crazier and crazier, and it's Scott Snyder and Charles Soule writing it. I was
gonna say, yeah, the two of them working together. Yes, the metal and the lawyer.
Right. Yeah. Gosh. Yes, wonderful. And then Fantastic Four Antithesis Part 2, which has the Silver Surfer Alex Ross Timeless variant on it, which is
out.
Crazy. I love the reflection of him in his board.
In his surfboard. When this came out, I didn't know if this was like a mirror or something on the side, and then, it took actually standing back and seeing it on the wall from this far away where I'm like, oh, that's a surfboard in front of him.
Me too. I told you when
you don't carry a surfboard that way.
You don't carry a surfboard. When it first came in, I told you, I was like, oh, they made it different. I don't know why. And I didn't catch that it was the surfboard either for a minute, and then I was like, oh no, that's really cool. And I like it because most of them are just like straight on, and this one having the profile with the reflection is just a cool way to change it up.
Yeah, it's super neat. They I think they might have done this because the Iceman one looks a lot similar.
I think so.
But super cool with that reflection in there, and these Timeless variants are going to be super awesome. We've ordered a ton of them. If you guys are collecting all of those Alex Ross Timeless variants, we've got a bunch of all of them still. I think we sold out of Namor.
Yes.
No?
No, there's
We've
one
got
left.
one left.
There's
Namor
one left.
came out the first 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
The other Fantastic Four Antithesis cover.
Yeah, because we got 2 this week, 4 or 5 last week, and just Namor the week before, and there's still a ton to come out. The X-Men really haven't started yet.
The X-Men really haven't started. They're all on these X of Swords titles, and then the Inhumans haven't started yet.
Right.
Which you guys know, that's really all I'm waiting for.
Is the Inhumans ones?
Yes.
I think Phoenix comes out this week.
Ooh, that
for
would be
Hellions.
Great. There's actually also, speaking of that, in November there are Phoenix variants of every Marvel title, and so there's some really cool, and not all of them, but a lot of them. So there's actually even like a She-Hulk Phoenix variant that's really cool, and it's like that character as if they had the Phoenix in them.
Awesome.
So it's really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to that. There's
super
also
neat. I wonder what's that tying in with?
X of Swords.
Just X of Swords.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is also, so it makes me wonder what's going to happen next to Swords.
Right, absolutely.
There's also a really amazing thing coming out from Marvel for covers in November, and it is Native American covers done by an actual Native American artist.
With a book to go along.
Voices that they did earlier this year. That don't get a lot of representation and had their stories told entire one in November that's just for indigenous people, and I am very excited. And then there's covers for all the titles by this artist, Verege? Something like that. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. But
right, we don't have it in front of us.
But oh my gosh, it's gonna be. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We talk a lot about the world outside of our window on this show, and that we often are looking through our own window and not through someone else's. And it's really great that they've given us that opportunity to look out of someone else's window and see the world the way that they see it.
And because of this, they finally released the second printing of Marvel Voices, which sold out immediately when it came out. So I know a lot of you have asked for it. I just put in an order for the initial order for it, and I did initially order a lot, and I will definitely be ordering as that comes up for the final order. If you guys want to let me know. I just saw BJ, you said you want all of the X-Book native covers. Absolutely. So yeah, just shoot us a message if you guys want them, and we'll make sure to get those ordered when that final order cutoff comes, because we ordered big for the initial order, so there's plenty to go around.
I really like the Black Panther one.
Oh my god, I love the Black Panther
very,
one.
very, very cool.
The Black Panther one is gorgeous.
Yeah, because it's almost a mandala. The Spider-Man one's really cool too.
I know that so many people have already asked me for the Thor one.
Yeah,
so that's going to be great.
Too.
Yeah.
There's a Hulk one.
It's going to be so good.
Yep, they're going to be great. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is a weird one.
Speaking of crossovers.
I heard that this is the second time they've done this. Right? This is Batman the Max Arkham Dreams, and it's actually put out by IDW, right? Yeah.
And
it's
DC.
an IDW DC, but it's shipped through Diamond.
Yeah, so it's IDW.
IDW leading, right? Probably they licensed the rights to Batman or something like that. And it's in the Max's art style. We've got packaged in the bag and board. You know, could be kind of collectible and kind of fun. If you guys are fans of the Max, us 90s kids, right? MTV generation here.
Right.
We love the Max. This is super cool and really weird because the Max is always weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out that when he says 90s kids, he means people who were teenagers in the 90s and like
not born in the 90s. Right.
And then Umbrella Academy has a new spinoff out called You Look Like Death.
Yeah.
If you guys are Umbrella Academy fans, this is a great little tie-in series to it. You guys definitely want to pick it up. And I believe is it Gerard? I think on the bottom. Yes,
it's actually Gerard Way writing it.
That's what I thought. He's come back for that and a new volume of Killjoys. So if you guys are missing Gerard Way writing comics, he's back. And back at Umbrella Academy, which I know you guys are all loving that Netflix show. It's Netflix, right?
I think so.
Okay. And then, of course, Dark Knight, Death Metal, Speed Metal. This is one of the tie-ins out this week. If you guys didn't pick it up, we've got it. And we also got copies of the Trinity Crisis.
Our copies originally came in damaged. I think most of you guys who didn't pick up a damaged copy picked one up of the non-damaged copies, but we do have non-damaged copies now of Trinity Crisis, and I know that book's getting hard to find everywhere else, and they said that it is a huge part of the story. The people who came in this week and were like, oh yeah, you got to read Trinity Crisis. It's a major part of it. So we've got Trinity Crisis, we've got Speed Metal, and we have the Death Metal Handbook.
I think we have one copy.
We got two or three
copies,
Yeah, which we got a bunch of those because I guess that gives a lot of a little backstory insight into it. I've heard the Speed Metal is actually pretty sweet because all the flashes come together in it, and you actually get some Jay Garrick in there.
Ooh, I love when Jay Garrick is part
of it. Me too. He's not used enough. He's like Alan Scott to me.
Yes.
Like they need to just hang out.
I want a team up book of Alan Scott and Jay Garrick like right now.
Right.
Like not them like in JSA time period, but like them right now.
Them right now. They're back. They're doing their thing. Just the two of them.
And then they
get the other characters out of there.
They sit at a coffee shop and drink coffee and talk about how the young people are messing everything up.
Right. And Our Man comes in and he's like, "What's up, guys? I gotta go."
Yeah.
and then Dr. Fate kind of kicks around.
Right. It'd be great.
And they get these
Cat shows up. Like you get all kinds of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get somebody silly to write it. You know. Like
Sam Humphries.
Yeah. Sam Humphries would be great. Or Carla Paccio, who's writing Spider-Woman.
Yeah, either one. But man, could you imagine the surly wit from Sam Humphries on?
Oh man, and Sam Humphries is a huge Green Lantern fan.
Right.
We gotta tweet at him.
Yeah, right. You guys do it too. Tweet at Sam Humphries that we want to have a Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, old men grumpy old men starring Alan Scott and Jay Garrick, written by
in modern times.
In modern times.
Laughing at.
Literally just grumpy old men. That
Right.
movie, just with them.
And a lot of OK Boomer in there.
Yeah. Right, you get Wally West with a sideways hat coming in, like saying, "Okay, Boomer."
Right.
Like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be priceless.
I'm here for it. It's
Cool.
happening.
Power Rangers is on Draken #2. Again, this is one of those ones. If you're keeping up with it, if you're loving it, you know. If you love it, you love it. We do have a couple of copies of the foil left.
And copies of cover A, which I know.
And
A, because I can't open up my foil. We've got it if you need it.
Right. It says slow internet.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Cool. Hopefully we don't stay frozen.
Right, not too long.
Yeah.
Well, we can get through the rest of these new ones.
Cool.
Venom 28, that is the Stegman variant, which I love. I think it's a great cover.
Yep, we find out who Codex is.
Yeah, I can't believe we're touching that book now that you said that.
Right, we find out who Codex is. Don't look at it.
Right.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
X of Streams.
X of Streams.
X of Streams. X of Swords is here. It's got a lot of cool covers.
This is an oversized book for creation. I think that is the cover
It
A
is
that
oversized. Yes.
No,
it's
that's
a $5.99
not.
book.
This is the cover A.
No. Yep.
This is
like
cover
cover
A.
B. It's cover A.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, and you have the wraparound variant.
I have the wraparound, the Brooks wraparound. It's beautiful and gorgeous.
Can I open this for the live stream?
As long as you don't crack the spine.
Right. Do something like that so you can.
Yes, BJ. That is absolutely correct. Codex is Sleepwalker.
Codex is Sleepwalker.
You
spoilers.
Heard it here only. I love this cover, this X of Swords creation,
the magic
cover, which makes me assume that a magic is going to play a big role in X of Swords, and I'm very excited because I think she's fantastic.
I'm very excited because I just picture her as Anya Taylor-Joy now.
Yeah,
and that's awesome because she's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's this one, the sketch character design.
I've actually had a lot of interest in this one. A lot of people have been churning in the other cover to get this one. It's really pretty with the blue and the gray. That's our colors.
That's our colors.
Right. It's pretty neat. Magic is great, BJ.
Yeah.
Magic's great.
Most magic in general.
Right.
And that's what we have in some.
Got a couple of trades that we want to talk about real quick.
Yeah, one you already brought up. We have Spider-Woman Origin, the Bendis run on Spider-Woman that is mentioned in the newest issue of Spider-Woman. So
if you guys are reading Spider-Woman and you want the starting point, this is a great, obviously, a great starting point for it because it is the starting point for it. Yeah.
That's my only musical talent is to be able to do that, and it's from watching too much Blue's Clues.
Right.
Or Face, even from Nickelodeon from before that. He was the one on the commercials. It literally was just like a screen of a color, and then it had like the John face on it. And that was, he would come on the commercial times and he would tell you what was coming next or whatever, but he did that a lot, like
90s.
Right.
Right. Now they just advertise.
Yeah.
Or have an advertisement playing while they do it.
Umbrella Academy Volume 1. If you are looking to get from the show to the new series to the comics in general, this is a great, obviously this is the beginning, the Umbrella Academy Volume 1, and
Richie, I got this for you.
Thank you guys. We have Volume 1 and 2, so you guys need that. We've got it. You should definitely check it out if you haven't actually ever read Umbrella Academy. This is a good time to jump in on it.
Yeah.
We just started season 2 on the Netflix.
And if you like the pop punk musics and the MCRs and stuff.
Right.
You know.
Gerard Way. Another way to support him.
He was in a band.
Yeah.
Called My Chemical Romance.
You've probably never heard of them. They're super
in like
underground.
2008.
Or like this year.
It was 2005. Right, this year because they came out with a new album or something.
They were on tour for the 5 minutes that bands were allowed to tour this year. So
what's it called? The White Parade or the Red Parade or something?
Black Parade.
No, the new album.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm teasing.
Okay.
It was a joke to the Black Parade. Never mind.
Richie,
we got the Spider-Woman for you. Put that in your box, man. Thanks so much.
And then before I go into the other new trades that we have, I just want to throw some half-off trades your way.
Cool.
Since we're talking about X-Men and things, this is the all-new X-Men Volume 1. And if you guys didn't actually read this one, this is a lot of Scott Summers.
Yep, it sure is.
And it's all new X-Men's issues 1 through 6, and we actually have those issues as well. But if you guys didn't ever catch it, we have this trade half off. It's fun read. I've read this trade, so
right, it's a good one.
Yeah. And then
good Cyclops story.
We have this Gamora trade, and this is half off, and it totally should. I don't know how you guys are so lucky that this is half off, because this is actually classic Gamora story.
Right, it's like old school.
This
awesome
is
Gamora.
I believe it's actually Jim Starlin.
Is it?
It said on there, and I already forgot.
Collecting.
It was on the inside, and I lost
Guardian
it.
of the Galaxy.
No, this is Jim Starlin did the art on all of this. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Lynn was still the editor.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want some classic Gamora, if you're a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan and you want to see Gamora stories, this is a great little trade for that.
The cover definitely makes you think that it's going to be a new Gamora book.
I thought that, and I went to read it thinking like, oh, I never got to read that new Gamora where she looked like that. So I want to pop in, and I guess that's what it was. Is it came out as a tie-in to when they gave Gamora that series when she was in that outfit, and that's a J. Scott Campbell cover. Cool. On it, but instead the issues are actually classic. Like you said, it collects a bunch of
Strange Tales 180 through 181, Warlock 9 through 11 and number 15, Avengers Annual number 7, Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2, written and illustrated by Jim Starlin.
Yeah, so
bam,
that's gonna be some
super
good
cool
stuff. Like now, I went to read it because I was like, oh, I never caught that new Gamora stuff, and then I was like, man, now I just want to read it because it's just a whole bunch of like Jim Starlin Gamora stories.
Right, like classic stuff. We just sold a John Byrne Iron Man from the half off trades this week too. Yeah. There's some really cool ones that are in there.
Really cool ones.
It's usually hard to find the older stuff in half off.
Yeah. Especially because they get those more expensive volumes and everything, and so it's great that we have some good ones back there.
Yep.
A non-old one, but one of those like half-off trades that you're not gonna think to pick up on your own. This is actually called Unfollow, and it is the story of an eccentric billionaire who basically is the founder of a Twitter type social media. He's dying, and he kind of Willy Wonka's the situation. And since there's 140 characters allowed on Twitter, he has a software system designed that pulls 140 people randomly from the world and kind of get like a representation of them. And he decides to leave all of his money, no strings attached, to these 140 people. Or are there strings attached? Because the thing is that anytime someone dies, their portion of the money gets transferred automatically back to the initial account and then spread out to whoever's left. So if everybody died, the one person would get all $18.57 billion he's worth.
So they start killing each
other. And so
the
question is, are you going to start killing each other? And there's so much more to it than just that, because there's an assistant who has...
That's a lot of blood and bang.
Yeah, there's an assistant who's gone on his own like course and maybe evil and demon, but he's hired this one person who's a reporter, and he has her. She's a Iranian woman who was working as a reporter, and he goes in, and she's one of the 140 that's picked, and so he goes in and he's like he's like, your job is to record everything that happens, like catch it all. You wanted a story to tell, this was your story. He goes, but remember, you're also one of the 140, so watch your back.
Ooh.
And so she's out there like trying to get all of this on there, but also seems to have like a little bit extra protection because he's kind of watching over because he wants the story told. It's so freaking crazy. And I'm very. It sounds like an Agatha Christie plot.
It kind of does.
It kind of does.
Yeah, I gotta want to read it. It sounds fun. This is from Vertigo too.
Yes, and this is volume 1.
Rest in peace.
I know, rest in peace, Vertigo.
Yeah.
It's volume 1, and now I'm sad because I thought like, oh, it's gonna just be a 6-issue miniseries that came out or something, and I got to the end and was like, it's not over.
Right.
And now I have to hunt down the rest of this, and it's a Vertigo book, so I hope I can.
Right, so good luck.
But it sounds to me, it was a really fun read. I'm curious where it goes. I have to figure it out. I'll let you know. Or you can just get this and let me know what you think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 2 more awesome trades that came in. Yeah, let's talk about that one first.
Came in.
Yeah, that came in.
we talked about this a couple weeks ago because we had Megan Hutchinson, the beautiful, wonderful, talented, amazing human that she is. And we had her on here and we talked about her big image series that she did with Joe Harris, Rock Stars. And we have the ever impossible to find Rock Stars trade that combines issues 1 through 5.
Yeah.
These
are really hard to find.
These are impossible to find.
They're out of print.
They are out of print. You are not. You're not getting it.
These are from
else.
Megan's personal collection.
Yeah.
She donated them to us. For you guys, if you are excited about reading this, I love just the tagline says backwards messages are real. There is a guy and a girl, and they are trying to solve a mystery. And the only way that they can solve the mystery of these people who died is to listen to old rock and roll records backwards and find out that all of the things related to the mystery are what happened with rock and rollers back in the day at the clubs and the hotels that they were in. And so they have to go visit all of these places. And they use a lot of actual real accounts, urban legends. Yeah, that's a good word for it, of what actually happened to rock stars. And the art, obviously, is Megan, so it's amazing.
It's so good.
I love just the opening panel.
I want my wardrobe to be designed by Megan because her clothing choices are always amazing.
Right. I just freaking love this. This is the one where, if you guys caught that live stream, I opened it up and I was like, Megan, this is amazing. And she was like, oh, I actually have the original of that. And I was like, can I buy it from you? And she's like, I have to give it to Joe.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, come on. Why do you have to give it to the writer?
Right, he already has stuff.
He already has it. He worked
it.
on the book.
Right.
We are super fans. And that said,
speaking of books that Megan works on that are out of print that you are never going to find, trust me, I spent over a year and a half trying to find this book, actually. Yeah. This is Will o' the Wisp. If you guys are fans of any kind of folklore or anything, you know Will o' the Wisper, little fairies, possibly the lights out in Marfa, all kinds of things that they could be. But
they kind of come in.
Do they?
They kind of come in. I spent the morning reading this. Mm-hmm. It is super cool. It's a treasury edition. It has a little latch key on the side to actually open this up. And it's hardcover and it's glorious. There's a little girl. Her name is Aurora. And the first thing we learn on page 1 is that her parents died. Now, with me losing my parents, I'm immediately interested. I'm like, oh, go on. They were having a family picnic, and they picked mushrooms, and they were death caps.
Oh, no.
The parents ate the mushrooms and died. They made a sauce out of the mushrooms, and little Aurora got sick, but didn't die. When she wakes up, her parents are dead, and she gets sent to live with her grandfather on an island that's in the Louisiana bayou somewhere. Ships used to crash into the shore in that area, and they would bury the bodies on an island. So she lives on a graveyard island.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Out of the bayou. And of course there are little blue fairies. We don't know what they are from where I am in the book, but they're basically the writer who wrote it, Hammock, John Hammock, something like that.
I think you're thinking John Hammond.
I might be thinking John Hammond. Tom Hammock. Tom Hammock has a little intro in there that he says that his family grew up in California, but his grandparents kind of passed down these hoodoo stories, and not necessarily did his parents believe in them, but they followed the practices because it's just tradition, and we don't necessarily know why we follow traditions. We just kind of do them because they're part of our family. So not necessarily were they practicing hoodoo, but he didn't know what it was when he was a kid. He was just following these traditions, and it turned out they were hoodoo. So it led him down this thing to follow, which is Americanized witchcraft voodoo in the South. Mm-hmm. And that kind of ends up being the world that she lives in, and everyone's telling this little girl that she's destined to become kind of a magical hoodoo person. But what it really comes across like is, we were just talking about wind, it comes across as a goth wind in the bayou, because it absolutely has those moments of heart, and a girl losing her parents and figuring out who she is, and she's 12 years old, and it's just so magical with its little clip thing on the side.
And this was actually a YALSA nominated book, and that is the big young adult award for graphic novels, and so they were actually nominated for that when this book came out. And so I don't understand why it's not readily available everywhere in the world because of that alone. But it's such a great book. We're so excited to be able to have them in the store. It's beautiful. Did you show any of the interior
I
art?
don't. It has like that new
You don't want to crack this
book
time.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Our copy is in the other room if you want to grab it because it might be worth it. It all has black paneling around the thing. Even the back of the cover has that kind of die cut feel to it. And again, Megan's been holding out on us.
I
having these hidden.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get them for us because she was so kind to give them to us for you guys to be able to get, because it's so hard to find. Again, I've spent a long time trying, but it's just.
There is a pet raccoon where she lives, and there he is with his corn. He loves his corn. He has to wash everything in the swamp before he eats it because he's a raccoon.
He reminds me of Pumpkin.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely has those super moments of heart. But yeah, I love all the black paneling, and it's dark, but it's fantasy. It says on the back that it's a fantasy book. I don't want to flip too far because I'm so into it. I don't want to spoil anything for myself.
Right, don't do it.
There is constantly another thing around like every turn in this book. But super unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable book.
That's ours, so don't mix that. But yes, so we have both of those in stock. So if you guys are looking for copies of Rockstars or Will o' the Wisp, from the amazing Megan Hutchinson, let us know. We will make sure. Richie, I saw you ask if you could get a copy of Rockstars. We will definitely put one in your box for you.
Oh, Richie, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's right up your alley, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super cool.
Right. Now we just need to be able to go back to Posse and have conversations with Richie about it after.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what's going on in Trade World.
In Trade World, yeah.
So, bam!
Yeah, so since we did just talk about Rockstars, and Umbrella Academy and all of those things together, I've got another Gerard Way Young Animal title. We've got This is Doom Patrol #4, and then I'm actually throwing this in with it.
Wow, you're doing it this week?
I think we're doing it this week.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
Holy cow. I figured you guys are all really excited about this Doom Patrol series. Apparently, when it went to HBO Max, people were like, "Have you heard of this new series?"
Right, everybody
and it's like, it's been on DC Universe, but nobody got DC Universe.
Right,
I guess.
And all of our friends who did get DC Universe are very angry right now.
Right.
Not because they don't want other people to watch the shows, but because they are getting rid of DC Universe, other than for just comics and
which we will touch on in our news.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nope.
It is bending all over the place.
Okay,
this is DC's posters. They're different
not.
than
They're
Marvel's.
a weird shape and
right. You have to
size
them down. It's massive poster too. Yeah.
So there you go. We are giving away this Doom Patrol HBO Max poster. We're giving this. She's dressed as Dorothy, but they are in Wonderland.
Oh, is it the Wonderland?
Yeah.
Cover.
Wonderland cover. Yeah. But anyway, this is Doom Patrol. You get that. You get this cool robot man working at a fast food restaurant, Doom Patrol Gerard Way. If you can tell me what star of the Partridge Family had his own comic book and who published it?
Weird.
Yeah, so what?
It's as weird as Doom Patrol itself.
Yeah, so what star of the Partridge Family had his own comic book and who published it? Yes, BJ, Alan Tudyk is in that show, which is probably why it's wonderful. It's him and Brendan Fraser. So,
yeah.
You don't need anything other than that, really, to make a show great.
Pauly Shore.
I mean, Pauly Shore should be in it at some point. That would be.
Brendan Fraser's there.
Right, you just gotta have a Pauly Shore cameo
weird,
at least.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so question to win this Doom Patrol poster and comic is what star of the Partridge Family had his own comic book and who published it? And you can take home both the comic and the poster.
Talking Street, cool bro.
So yeah, I could totally see Pauly Shore being in Doom Patrol and be like, "Well, you're a robot." He's got like an oil can. He's like squeezing the juice.
The second Pauly Shore joins Doom Patrol,
I will watch it.
Watch the entire thing.
The entire thing. Especially because Robot Man is Brendan Fraser, so it's perfect to throw that all in there at Robot Man. I need it. Like, it's perfect.
Just for one episode.
Just one episode would be great. And you win this poster that Matt is probably getting tired of holding. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. It's good for the arms.
Yeah.
It's good for the arms.
For the arms.
Throw that question out again.
Yes, the question is, what star of the Partridge Family had his own comic book and who published it? You can tell me that. You can get this Doom Patrol poster and this Gerard Way issue of Doom Patrol. It's very Gerard Way heavy night.
Right? Absolutely. We should have called it the Umbrella Stream or something.
Right. The My Chemical Livestream.
Right.
Ooh, that would have been good.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize we had so much Gerard Way stuff.
Well, dude's killing it between the Doom Patrol show and the Umbrella Academy.
Yes, and Guillermo is the winner. It was David Cassidy, and it was published from Charlton Comics.
Man.
Yes. And it was in 1972 through 1973, and it was 14 issues long.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a thing. It went on.
Absolutely.
Doom Patrol.
David Cassidy. Guillermo.
David Cassidy. Yep.
Hitting it big tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, Sai, you almost were there, Sai. Almost had it.
I only got a couple tonight, but they're good ones. We've got some key and collectible issues in stock, and we got another Madame Web. This book has been shooting up like crazy. At least we got another copy in because sold the other one.
Yeah.
Can't keep them. And then right after we got it, the Spider-Man 90s show was on, and Madame Web's on there.
Yeah.
And it like actually has this cover, like actual shot of her like this, and he swings in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat little part of the thing, and she's screaming at him. But hey, Spidey, think you're the only web head in town? Yeah, it's
what she did there.
Killer cover, killer classic cover. This is cool with the movie coming up.
I'm very excited that we have another one of these.
Right,
in stock.
Absolutely. We got Batman: The Long Halloween. We actually got the entire series in stock, which is really cool. But here's number one. This book is about to blow up when that Robert Pattinson movie comes
out. When Arbats' movie comes out, you guys are gonna, if it really ends up being that it's a Long Halloween movie, which it does sound like it is. I didn't watch the trailer, so don't tell me if the trailer tells you. I am really curious, but it's still spiking. People are still speculating on the idea that it's going to be a very long Halloween theme, so it leads me to believe that we must have some good hope. I love Long Halloween. It is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Batman stories.
Agreed. Agreed.
Absolutely love it. I love the way it's done. I love the way it's drawn. It's fantastic, and the sequels, the prequels, the tie-ins, it was to before. I loved it all. So
and
great.
In your PC, you actually have a Dark Victory number 0.
It's you.
C2E2, or no, it's Chicago Wizard World exclusive, signed by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb.
I do.
In a yellow label. Yep.
I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. You are a fan.
I am a fan of the Long Halloween series.
Absolutely. So this is a really cool key. And now is the time to buy in, because this book is going to blow up if what Paul Dano says is correct.
Ooh, Paul Dano.
Paul Dano. And this is I couldn't decide between these last two which one I wanted to end with. Again, only 4 keys tonight, but they're big ones. So I'm going to do this first because it's a little more niche market. This is the Spawn 1 per store black and white comic. Yeah, this came out in 1997, so just 2 or 3 years after the original series, 94. This one was sent out as a retailer exclusive for people who had been ordering Spawn at the time, and these are ultra, ultra, ultra rare. Their print run is really, really, really tiny, and that's why it has a giant price tag on it. It does have a little bit of color rubbing down the spine here. You can kind of see these kind of white spots is where some of the ink got rubbed off on it. That's the reason why it's the price that it is and not $600, which is what you pay for it in your mint on eBay. And slab, these things are like $1,200 to $1,499.
Yeah.
This is an insane book. So super cool that we got that. And our last one, we've been looking to get this in for a long time. Another big point of movie news. I don't know if you guys heard, but unfortunately the Eternals movie got pushed back another year.
What?
Another year. We're looking at November 2021 now. which is terrible. But that
a good
means
time to go to the movies, hopefully.
Right, absolutely. And it also means that Eternals #1 still has a good buy-in price before this book really takes off. I think that this is going to be another one of those books that's going to shoot into the $200, $300 range.
Absolutely.
After that movie comes out. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy one was affordable. You know, it's still high price, but it wasn't outrageous.
And now, yeah.
Right. Those first Star-Lord's books, the Marvel Premiere one, took off when that movie came out, and they weren't that expensive before.
Yeah.
These ones have definitely been slowly rising in price from their dollar bin fodder that they were in the 90s, but now, you know, definitely the time to buy in. We're seeing Daredevils this week. Daredevil #1's hit in the 900 to 1,000 range for a raw.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Nigel and I were actually bidding on one jokingly. It had tape on it. It was tattered copy. This tape was like raw and yellowed and cracking on there, and it was like $60. And Nigel's like, I'm gonna bid on it. And I was like, you know what? The store needs a copy. I'm gonna bid on it too. So we put like 80 or 85 on it, and immediately outbid. And it sold at $990 for like a 0.5.
Oh my god.
Tape on there, which means you're getting a purple label anyway from CGC. But
right.
$990 for a Daredevil 1, which that book was $300 at this time last year for a 1, you know.
Crazy.
So seeing books rise over time, and definitely as history or time rolls on, these books are going to go up, and this is definitely going to be one of those books that does. So now it's time to get into this. It has a really, it's a clean copy. It has one little tiny scratch or a tiny little tear in the top corner that's like a millimeter big, but it's a nice copy otherwise. Yeah, so those are our keys for the week.
Yeah, before you push that button, Richie, yes, a long Halloween trade does exist, and yes, we can get you one.
Yes.
And
are we currently sold out?
I don't know. I was gonna look.
We might be currently sold out. We'll figure it out for you, Richie.
But I figured this makes sense.
I saw this, and I am with a heavy heart.
We have one.
Haven't wanted to give this away. Because this is the one that hung up over there. I literally sat here or stood at the counter here and put my hand out and was like, now's the time. Now's the time.
You got the thing.
We got one for the store, and this is definitely the time. We finally got an Eternals one in stock. This is the Eternals poster that hung on the door to the office here at the shop for the last however many months until we got it on the front of the bar. This is the Eternals #1 poster. And I haven't wanted to give it away because I love it so much, and it's this awesome Jack Kirby art. It's a little used, and it's got the tape rolled on the corners, but otherwise...
But it's free to you. Oh, Sai says don't give it away.
Right, and it hung in the shop. It's okay. We finally got an Eternals #1 in the shop first time since we opened. I'm excited about it.
Yes.
This is celebratory.
And I'm going to give you a question that makes sense to go with it. What superhero team can join together using the technology of a mother box to summon the powerful hero known as Infinity Man?
Man. Come on, that's easy.
It's an easy question, I know.
It's too easy.
It might be too easy, but it was fitting.
Infinity Man is my jam.
Infinity Man is your jam.
It's all my jam.
It's true.
It's all my jam.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But here it is.
But if you know the answer to that question, you get this Eternals poster that Matt doesn't want to give you. Kind of like the Jessica Jones poster that I didn't want to give you.
Right,
But
it's a good night for that too, right? We're both making sacrifices here.
Take one for the team, guys.
Okay. And we've got the nice copy hanging in the front of the counter of this.
Yes.
You do not have a nice copy.
I do not have a nice copy of the Jessica Jones.
Right.
Yes, Sai, there you go. Sai, it is forever, people.
Bam.
And we know you'll take care of this poster, Sai. So.
Yes. Take care of it. Hang it somewhere nice because it's pretty.
Oh, right.
And it hung in the store.
And it hung
in a loving place. I literally hung it on the office door so that I could stare at it all day while I'm here at the counter.
And now it's on the counter.
Right.
And you can just sit there on the floor and stare at it all day.
And I can stare at Spider-Woman.
Right,
which is also
awesome. A great choice.
Absolutely. So, well, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Congrats, Sai.
Yeah.
We got $1 book club coming up tomorrow. We are doing 7 to Eternity for our $1 book club online on Zoom. The $1 book clubs have been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And especially the indie titles are super great. because a lot of us haven't read them, and the ones who have, it's like I don't want to spoil too much, and the story is really complex, and nobody else knows anything about it.
Right.
It's not like these characters like doing a Batman. When you do a Batman, everybody knows something about Batman. So it's like, what is it about this issue of Batman? The indie ones are not like that.
Right, and this one I'm very excited. BJ says I'm so excited for this book club. You guys should all join. I was waiting for that to come in because BJ has been pushing for this book club for a long time, and that's one of the things about book club is if you guys know one of your favorite issues is becoming an Image First or a DC Dollar issue or a True Believers, you can request that it become a part of the book club cycle. And like this one came in and we were like, well, we got to push this in there because we've been asked to do Seven to Eternity forever.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to get in there and get to hear people who have loved this series and are still ongoing with it.
Yeah.
Get to talk about it. And then have some, I know we talked about it a little bit at the end last week. We always get a little bit of a gauge because everybody's like, what's the book? And then they're like, I don't know that one. So last week it was one of those where everybody's like, I don't, for the most part, was like, I haven't read this. So it's going to be really good.
Especially those indie titles, because they are number ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're not at any point just kind of in the middle of something. You don't need to know before and after it and the arc that goes around it.
Right, there's no history lesson that has to come into it before, but sometimes does come into play in the conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is tomorrow night at 8:30. Join us on Zoom. The link is going to be here on Facebook.
It's already on Facebook. It's in the event. If you guys need to find it, it is the same link every week for book club. So if for some reason it's ever not posted right before book club, you can always either pop into the current event or any of the other ones coming up and grab the link. And you don't have to have the password or anything to join. You can just pop in and wait, and we'll let you in when it's time.
Absolutely. Usually we all start getting in there right around 8:29, 8:30. So, cook your dinner beforehand. Have your dinner ready to go. Yeah, bring it. Nigel made the joke last week. Nigel was here for our book club, and he made the joke. He's like, should I eat pizza on this thing? I feel bad eating if other people don't have it. I'm like, hey, everybody's in their house.
Right, you can go get your food and
you can go get your food and your drink. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
eat on the thing, right? There's no droplets.
Right.
That's why it's online. There's no droplets from you eating.
Yes.
Right, eat away.
Eat away.
Eat away.
Just mute yourself so nobody can hear you smacking.
Right, munch.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. We get in there early. We have a little bit of conversation just about how everybody's doing and all the books. You guys get to tell us about the books you're reading instead of us just talking at you about the books that we're reading. You guys get to kind of tell us about books you're reading and suggest other books to other people. So it's always fun for that first half hour or so to get that in, and then we dive into the book. So it's a lot of fun. And last week we let Nigel, one of our subscribers who's in the comments with you guys, we let him lead what everybody was doing, and so it was a lot of fun to see what everybody was doing and to see Nigel lead it. So
right, a little turn of events there.
Yes, thanks for helping out, buddy.
Right, appreciate that, man. But Seven to Eternity tomorrow, and we've got a bunch coming up that are going to be amazing.
Yes.
Next week, and we're going to give it away here as a prize in a second, is Nova #1. To go back to Marvel, and then the week after that is Ed Brubaker and Darwin Cook's Catwoman.
Yay!
That's how I feel about Nova.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa, Nova's gonna be cool. I don't know anything about Nova. It's Nova #1.
Nova's gonna be cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna make Ultimate Spider-Man jokes the entire time, so you get to be. I guess you should be in charge, because.
Right, is that a thing?
Yeah, Nova is on Ultimate Spider-Man, and him and Peter have a little rivalry, and so there's always jokes about Nova on there.
Is he Booster Gold?
No.
Okay.
He's definitely not, but this is actually written by Marv Wolfman, so I'm very excited to.
You do a lot of Marv Wolfman.
We do.
Club.
We do. He did his own editing. Wow, that's impressive.
Which, did you notice? Not to backtrack too far, but in Spider-Woman 4, there is a Marv Wolfman reference.
No.
There is a dog that belongs to the mother, and she's like, oh, don't annoy Marv or whatever. But she's like, get away, and Marv, and it's like a wolf dog.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
Marv Wolf.
That's nice.
I was like, oh, that's a Marv Wolfman reference.
That's nice.
Spider-Woman 4 this week. But yeah, 7 to Eternity tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. on Book Club, and Book Club's got some great ones in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
The True Believers that they announced in last month's previews were unbelievable. There's First Thunderbolts, Inhumans #1, The Amazing Adventures #1, Inhumans Black Widow. That's going to be amazing.
Yes.
What were the other ones?
I don't remember, but there was a lot, and they're coming out over the next
Right. for the King in Black kind of release
Yes, it's
in
gonna be fun.
November. Yeah, so we're gonna have a really great winter of book clubs. So
I don't know what's going on, but I can't
uh,
block the person. We're getting apparently we're getting spammed.
it's great. Keep making those comments.
Right, spam away. It's just going to make our count go up.
It's just driving our reach. That's badass.
Thanks for your help. So we're gonna give away Nova number 1, so you can join us for next week's book club.
Sweet.
So you guys can just ignore the spamming of the comments that's going on,
but we'll still see ya.
And you'll still see us, or we'll still see y'all. And if you can tell me, in what issue did the Baxter Building first appear?
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's a weird question that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but I thought it was fun because we talked about last week what was the first issue that Gotham City first appeared in, so I thought it would be fun to do in what issue did the Baxter Building first appear. Also, Renee asked earlier if that was a Marvel or a DC question because we were giving away an Eternals poster, but I asked a question about the Forever People, and the connection was it was a Kirby question.
It was a Kirby question, right.
So
it's a Kirby question.
Yes.
There's nothing. I've been keeping my eye on it.
Right. So if you guys know what issue the Baxter Building first appeared in, you can win this copy of Nova, number 1 for book club.
Right, and we will still catch you even though we've got a bot.
Right, or just a spammy person.
Right, that's great.
Again, you're just helping our reach, and I can delete it all later. So it's on you if you want to keep spamming.
That's a great spam.
Right.
Spam away.
Right. You're really driving your point home.
Yeah.
So if you guys,
what a good bot.
Right. If for some reason it's not allowing you to comment, you can send a message to one of us. If you know the answer to what issue the Baxter Building first appeared in, you can have this copy of Nova number 1 and join us for book club.
Right.
Yeah. So
First Baxter Building.
I
think I know.
Do you know? You can see the answer. So.
Can I go? Oh yeah, I know.
You know? You knew?
It's not the Forever People.
That's not the question. I think
nothing.
I thought one actually came in. But if you guys know what issue the Baxter Building first appeared in, no, Guillermo, it is not Amazing Spider-Man.
That's what
1.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, that was a good question, a good choice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. I will always lean towards Kirby questions if I can.
Exactly.
So, no, the Baxter Building appeared in something other than Amazing Spider-Man for its first appearance. So, if you guys know, fun fact, because I know Renee doesn't Google, so I'll just throw this out there. But you can actually Google first appearance of the locations in comics, and that actually does come up too, because apparently that is something that people want to know as well. So if you guys don't know already, you can Google what issue did the Baxter Building first appear, and you will find the answer to your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost, Renee.
Almost there.
See, and then that didn't even come in for me, so you gotta watch your side.
All right. Keep watching here.
Yeah, because I'm just getting this. I'm getting the spam.
Right.
Spam-a-lama.
Spam-a-lama jam.
Yep.
Love that.
Right.
Spam away. How come we haven't made a spam bot yet that just comments on live streams?
Right, that just helps live streams get views.
Exactly.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
It's super awesome. We're going to look at this thing tomorrow. It's going to be 600 comments.
Right.
Sweet.
Thanks for that. You're doing a great job, James Brogan.
Right.
If that is your real name.
If that is your real name.
Yeah. If you know.
I saw a bot interact with somebody this week and have a political debate, one of those political bots.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. The way that types the language, it's written those, they say I put in this many things and had a bot write it. Yeah, responds like that on there. I'm we're getting to that point of Terminator. AI.
Yeah. Renee, keep guessing, because you were literally within the range.
Yes.
That's as far as I'm going to say that.
Right, you're in the range.
But yeah, I think it's funny that we have these situations where we have the spots. But somebody did just message us a while ago and say that they actually just Googled
Fantastic Four number 5.
Nope. But they Googled the live comic sales, and we came up on that. So apparently, if you're Googling you'll see us. So, oh, that's fun. Okay.
Right.
No, Renee, not 5. So try again. You're so close. Yes, Nigel, fan 4 number 3 in
Nigel got it.
1962.
It's funny. This is an exact representation. I can say it, that all the hiring just bots.
Yeah.
That's what happens these days. It's like, how do I win? Hire bots.
Right.
Right. That's not a political affiliation.
It's fine. Nigel's making his comments to go with this now. So again, if you want to keep spamming James Rogan or bot or whatever you are, that's fine. You just help us get more views, and it doesn't affect anything because our subscribers or our viewers are still able to participate. So
right, exactly. As long as you guys are
feelings.
still able to comment, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But
comic industry news.
Comic industry news.
They cast somebody to play Hawkman in the Black Adam movie.
Right.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
I know the Rock released a video that was like really funny and everything announcing it, but I'm very excited that it's a person of color.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great, and he's got a really long history of movies and shows and stuff, so I think he's gonna do a really great job, and I'm just happy we're moving forward on this movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really cool to have. Because it is just starting with Black Adam, and now we see this Hawkman and everything because we were starting Black Adam, so of course I was like, oh, it's gonna be like an ancient Egypt kind of thing, and then they're bringing in Hawkman, so I'm like, it really is gonna be an ancient Egypt kind of thing, and I'm very excited to see where this goes, and I'm very excited that The Rock is just loving being in it. It's great to see. I love when actors want to be a part of the role. Good God, Nigel. So.
Apparently.
Right. So this is so that was my exciting news.
I'm excited to see Hawkman on the big screen.
Me too.
Yeah. Though I know that they're going to Ant-Man him, and it's going to be a bunch of CGI wetness all over the screen. But whatever.
Maybe Ant-Man. I mean, yes, because it's DC. It's Warner Brothers, so they're definitely going to CGI it. I was going to say a lot of Ant-Man is just Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd.
Yeah, but the
shrinking and stuff. Yeah, so I'm really curious though.
Right. Hopefully he doesn't look like Ultron.
Yeah. Hopefully he looks great. Hopefully it's just a dude with a helmet and some wings on him, and that I have seen cosplayers make these wings. I have seen cosplayers make incredible wings for Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and actually, Night Mage has the Spawn with the wings, and they're taller than him, and he's a 6'4" man. And massive,
yeah.
And it's so wings can be done with practical effects. True. And I actually would be really excited to see, at least when he's standing around, if they were practical effects. And we got to actually see a really cool, amazing. Good job, guys. I can't repeat what Nigel said, but I love it that you guys are participating in this game now.
Yep.
Way to turn that around, Nigel. Way to make a positive situation out of it.
That's right.
But yeah, so
I thought that part in X3, which is definitely my least favorite of the X movies, but there is a part where Warren stretches his wings out from far away and they open, and it's super cool. Yeah. But it's from far away. Yeah. And in shadow. So it looks really great in like the silhouette when the wings open up. Right. Maybe Hawkman will be something like that.
Also, what a waste of Ben Foster that movie was. You could have used him. He is so good, and he was perfect. He has the perfect personality from his Disney career all the way to now. He has the perfect personality acting-wise, like, and range to have done a great job as Warren, and they didn't use him at all, and I'm still very bitter about it because you cast Ben Foster and you didn't use him.
Right. Absolutely.
Come on.
Completely ridiculous. But, oh well.
But, you know what? That's okay. He's probably available if you want to find a new place for him. Use him everywhere.
Really waiting for that Ben Foster, Alan Tudyk brother movie.
Right.
Just anything. Like, they could actually make an entire series, one where they're both superheroes, one where one of them's an alcoholic and is trying to help the other one out,
Yes.
and one where they're both on an adventure backpacking through Europe or something,
Right.
and
It'll
they
just
drink
be great.
beer or something the whole
Right.
time. Right. It'd be great. Ben Foster, Alan Tudyk. They
Right.
just look so much alike.
And Ben Foster's like the young one who's still trying to like get his career, and he's like super career focused and kind of tries to be serious. And then like his older brother is like this eccentric, like ridiculous guy, and
But he's got his stuff together.
right. But and so they go on these trips, and he like shakes Ben Foster out of being like stick up his ass guy, and you get to see funny Ben Foster. So you get all of the range of Ben Foster in
Right.
this movie.
And then of course they have to flip roles by the
Right,
end of
by
it
the
and help
end of
each
it.
other out, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
learn their other thing.
Yeah. So good.
Movie's
Awesome.
already written.
Right. Also, it's going to be really great because Alan Tudyk will just be coming off playing the Jay Garrick in the Grumpy Old Men movie,
Right.
and it'll just be a great new role for him after that.
Alan Tudyk as the Flash of any kind, especially Barry Allen.
Barry Allen, he just
Barry
looks
Allen
like
is
Barry
drawn to look like Alan Tudyk most of the time, especially in the Flashpoint series.
It's so true.
Namely in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a thing.
Yeah.
That's happening. Crossover, obviously, is the big news. That book, and I still have people coming in who haven't heard of it. If you guys don't know, Crossover is the next Donny Cates Image title, and
it was the cover of the Previews magazine, so there's a
Yeah.
little teaser in there. If you guys get the Previews magazine, or if you subscribe to the online Previews world, you can go in and check out the first couple pages. But it's this great conversation of who is real. Are you real, or is Superman real? Because your life is shorter than the life of this fictional character in this comic book. So at the end of the day, like, are we really what matters, or are these fictional characters more real than we are because they sustain and we don't?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I was already gonna get it, and now I want it right now. So thanks, Donnie.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
There's a lot of covers, and we're getting a bunch of copies, so everybody can get one.
There's 2 covers for the stores, but there's a lot of store variants, so check that out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. There's an A and a B, which is already strange for Image, who doesn't normally do an A and a B.
Other than Spawn.
And Ice Cream Man.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing it for Redneck for a while, and that dropped off.
So
it's kind of a limited thing that they do. Very excited about that. And the last thing we were talking about, that we were like, oh, we'll discuss this in news later.
Yeah, I don't remember anymore.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It was probably something that happened that was cool, but we kind of already talked about it. So whatever it was cool. Great. But we just did our initial order for November, so lots of cool things coming up in that thing. I think that's what it was. We were talking about the own voices and the indigenous covers that are coming out, and they are gorgeous. If you guys want to get them, there's still time. The initial order just started, so if you see them and you want to grab those, just let us know over the next month or so we can put you down for those before they start getting on the final orders. That was it. That was the thing.
That's pretty much it. Definitely a big week for comics this week, but not necessarily like a big comic news week, as it were. Obviously, as James Rogan here has pointed out, we're about 40 days away from a major election, and things are kind of resting on that in the world. And in the meantime, we have comic books.
Yes. That said,
we love them.
We are part of an event called Shock the Vote ATX. It's a nonpartisan event to bring together the people of Austin, since we are so separated, and because our entertainment industry is what runs our town, and we can't do anything really in the entertainment industry world right now. And which once again, if you have any way to like support people in the entertainment industry, I am not talking about the celebrities sitting at home in their spas. I'm talking about the lighting guys, the sound guys, the stage hands,
the bus drivers,
all those people.
Yep.
They're really struggling right now. So if you can find a way to support them, side note, do that. Reach out to the people in the entertainment industry in your life. That said, there is a great event that's coming up called Shock the Vote. It's all the month of October. We are going to be doing live stream superhero story times as a part of that. You can check out those events, and Shock the Vote ATX is added some of the information in there. So you can hear a little bit more about them. But one of the things that they are doing is they are actually raising money for a lot of organizations here in Austin that need it. And I am very excited that one of them is Um, Between the Pages, which is the nonprofit. It is the parent nonprofit of Camp Half Blood Austin. Which, if you guys read the Percy Jackson books, they are extraordinary. Rick Riordan does an amazing thing. He also with those books, but he also has this great and wonderful imprint that allows own voices to continue to tell mythology stories. And what Camp Half Blood and Between the Pages, the nonprofit, does here in Austin is they actually allow kids to experience a week in the life of being a demigod through one of those stories. You get to live in the cabins, you get to go on these live action quests. It's You get to have people love and support you, and they give you books that are signed by the author that your week is themed by, or what your cabin is themed by. Um, and on top of that, they also go into schools all year long, and they have reading programs that they do with the kids where they act out the books with the kids, get the kids really involved in all of that. And so it's a wonderful, amazing thing that they're doing to just inspire reading in kids here in Austin and around the world. And so that's one of the organizations that, if you participate in Shock the Vote, that you can actually help support here. And all of them are local organizations. So feel free to check them out on Facebook, either Shock the Vote ATX. You can find them through our event, or you can check out Between the Pages Facebook page and learn more about that organization and the wonderful people. Topher and Isaiah, who run it, are phenomenal. Their cast of people who go into the schools to act with them are just fantastic. Shout out to Lester, who should definitely play Miles Morales in a live action version of that. If that ever happens, it would be wonderful. So no, Philip, there is not an adult version. I have been trying to get Topher to start one for the 13 years that it has existed.
Because that would be amazing.
They used to do a Star Wars camp, and it actually had a family week where you could like go with like nieces and nephews, and the adults could be a part of it too. But they don't do that one anymore. They just focus on the different Riordan imprint stories now that they're so big.
Right. We're getting
our bot is spamming us with negative feedback because we told him he was doing a good job of helping us out.
Right, exactly. So, if you guys want to give us a love react on this, counter that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just throw some love in against this guy who apparently thinks it's really fun to attack us on the internet.
Which is, the way to do things. That's the way to go about things, really, is you should attack people on the internet.
Right, you should show up and attack them on the internet, because that's definitely going to get your point across, and really make a difference in the world.
And if you guys ever run for political office, make sure that you hire bots to spam comic book store live streams.
Right, because nonprofits in this world that are trying to do good definitely just need to be spammed by bots. But hey, Absolutely. It's fine. If you want to keep giving us negative reacts, that's totally cool, because that is also an engagement, and you obviously don't know how Facebook works, so good job. I'm just saying, thanks for your help, because every time you do that, 13,000 more people are going to see my live stream. So cheers to you, James Rogan.
Yeah, thanks. We love that.
You're not bringing it down.
Thanks, guys, for throwing in those hearts. And thanks for watching, I guess. Oh, we've got one more.
I've got one more.
We got one more. Super cool. Surprise giveaway. One more at the end of the night here.
It's 2 X-Men #1s. One is Amazing X-Men done by Jason Aaron, and the other one is, in fact, a #1 of that X-Men, all new X-Men that I was telling you guys that we have the trade for.
Right, and the actual cover of it too.
Yes.
For that trade.
And this question, once again, has absolutely nothing to do with it, but it's a pretty fairly easy question. If you can tell me, because we talked about Chip Zdarsky, and my favorite Zdarsky story is this, if you can tell me what Jughead from Archie Comics' real name is, you can get both of these X-Men titles.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right, I know that.
I know you know that one.
Guillermo, no, I don't think that we're going to be getting a store variant for crossover, although your buddy from Heroes and Fantasies did reach out to me and wanted to know if we wanted to go in on one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And get like a double store variant, right? I forgot about that. But so we might be in contact with him about that, and we'll talk to Donnie and see what he's got
lined up.
Right, exactly.
And if not, I know there are tons of amazing ones that are coming out, and I'm always happy to say to check out Simple Man's comics to see what they're going to have, because Brian is so wonderful, and Jack watched our stream a couple weeks ago, and he's a nice guy and super supportive of he was super supportive of us. He's super supportive of a lot of local shops, as well as Brian. They're Brian is always, always, always supportive of local shops, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate the work that they're doing to make sure people know. Yes, Ram, it is
Ram!
Forsyth Pendleton Jones the third.
That's right, Forsyth P. Jones.
Yes, so we got you down for these X-Men books,
Bam.
buddy. Thank you so much.
Cool. And
Awesome.
I'll put those in with your order that you placed today. Thanks again, Ram.
Yeah.
And yeah, Guillermo, thanks again. It super is awesome. Thanks for putting us in touch, because Adam actually called over to the shop here and I had a nice half-hour conversation with him. They're really nice over there. So that was really cool to connect with some other stores.
Yeah.
Because in our world there is no competition. It's all one big family of comic book love. And it's a really weird niche market that we're all in here.
Yes.
in this cool little art style that we all love so much.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that can bring us together, and thank you guys for watching on this lovely Sunday night.
Have a great week.
Right, we're actually going to end 2 minutes before 11 this week.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I know.
Not after 11. But and
Yes. Grab some amazing books.
Grab some amazing books.
Come grab a copy of Will o' the Wisp from Megan Hutchinson.
Right.
And Tom Hammock.
Right, and sold out everywhere else.
Does not exist other places, so
That's
come
right.
grab it while you can.
Right. Super great book. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 to talk about Seven to Eternity.
Yeah.
On our book club. Bye. Nope.
You're gonna take it out of the thing.
I can't get